Does it seem like all you do is answer emails? Do you have trouble determining what's urgent and maybe what's not? Have you concluded that maybe it's just better to answer every single one when it comes in rather than risk the rebuke from the boss if you don't respond right away? Is this exhausting you? Well, you're not alone. But there is a solution. Watch this short video to find out what it is. I'm Bob Wendover. In 2021, Laura Gerge and Vanessa Bonds published a study in organizational behavior and human decision process, which confirmed what many of us have suspected for a long time, but have been afraid to act on. The title of their article was, "You Don't Need to Respond Right Away. Receivers overestimate how quickly senders respond to non-urgent work emails." Perhaps you're one of them. I've seen studies estimating that it takes anywhere from maybe 5 to 15 minutes to regain our concentration every time we're distracted. A good portion of these distractions, of course, are the result of incoming emails, especially the ones from the boss, right? Unfortunately, most bosses don't have a system for indicating the urgency of what they send when they send emails. And if they did, unfortunately, chances are a lot of them wouldn't even use it on a regular basis. As the study from Laura and Vanessa point out, most people suffer from what they call email urgency bias. And as a result, non-urgent questions take many people away from their primary focus the minute they're delivered. So, what to do? Well, the solution comes in really two parts, one for you and one for the boss. Let's talk about the boss first. In their book, The Friction Project, authors Robert Sutton and Huggy Rao observe that, as they say, bosses often don't realize how closely underlings monitor their every word and deed, and are oblivious to the gyrations that subordinates go through to protect themselves from and please those at the top of the pecking order. Perhaps you've done that. I would argue that this begins with email. Over the years, I myself have learned that my offhand comments can be taken literally in some cases. So much so that I've had to go back and say, "I was joking," or, "Hey, I didn't mean that you needed to drop everything and go out and buy me a blueberry muffin. That one actually happened." If you riff in an email, you may find that those receiving it take it really seriously. I've found that it's best to give those working for me a simple explanation of my priorities. Now, nothing complicated, but enough detail to help them understand how to distinguish between urgent and something that can maybe wait until the important stuff is done. You can develop your own system, of course. The key here is that I take the extra 15 seconds to indicate the priority or urgency of a particular email. If I don't, the people who report to me are free to assume that the request can be completed as time allows. Now, this also provides them with evidence if I start harping on something about which I did not indicate any urgency in the first place. Have I changed my mind sometimes due to circumstances? Oh, sure, on occasion. But then I communicate the change in priority and I help them fit the task into what they've already been doing. But what if it's you who's increasingly drained by the endless emails that land in your mailbox? Is it acceptable for you to question or even challenge tasks that appear with little warning and without any indication of their priority? Yeah, as a matter of fact. Let's be honest, bosses forget what they've requested or delegated at times. But just as much as that person is your boss, you're the contributor who's actually doing the work that's supposed to support him or her. We're all fallible, of course, but if you don't say something, do you have really a right to grouse about the fact that the workload has grown to something that's overwhelming? I find that many times people can't find the words to open the conversation about assignments sent via email. So, allow me to suggest a few ways to approach these situations. Now, these approaches should be typically done in person. Sending an email asking your boss for clarification can sometimes appear confrontive, and you have to be careful about that. So, first, I'm having difficulty understanding. As in, I'm having difficulty understanding how you want me to fit this task into the other stuff you have me doing. Or, second, I'm a bit confused. As in, I'm a bit confused about the email that you sent. Should I make that task my priority now? Or third, am I understanding that? As in, am I understanding that you want me to complete this project before the others you've got me working on? All three of these phrases are designed to elicit help. In other words, you're looking for clarification before proceeding. Now, pass these phrases, by the way, along to the people who work for you. Suggest that they use them when you're sending emails and delegating tasks without indicating a priority or an urgency. We all do this at times, don't we? Now, this won't clear up all of the email urgency overnight, but it sure will help. What do you do to manage the overwhelming number of emails passing between you and your coworkers? Tell me in the comments below. And remember to subscribe to this channel so you'll be notified when I post more helpful content just like this. I'm Bob Wendover.